Hello, my dear students. I hope you are doing great. So, first of all, congratulations for clearing your CA foundation and most welcome to CA Intermediate. So, what is the difference between foundation and intermediate? Before I start with my subject of accounting, right? Paper number 1 of group number 1 of my inter, let us understand the difference between foundation and inter. Foundation, definitely you have put in lot of efforts. I know that. You must have got very good marks. I'm sure about that. But to get even better marks in intermediate, you need to follow certain different strategies. And day one, when you start your intermediate, you should be aware of this. So let's consider this that my foundation has been a 2020 match for me. It's short, it's sweet, it's cool, and it's very exciting, right? You also have MCQs over there, so you can definitely, feel the excitement there. Now, when I come to intermediate, suddenly the game changes. It becomes a one day international. Now, when it becomes a one day international, definitely the difference is going to be there. Here I will need a little more efforts. From 20 overs now I have to play 50 overs. From 4 subjects in foundation I have got 8 subjects in intermediate. The syllabus is going to be vast. Lots and more efforts you have to put. Double the subjects in lesser the normal time than what you had in foundation. So you can understand it's going to be different, right? So in one day international, you need a lot of hard work, you need good strategies, you need a lot of patience and a lot of stamina to get through it, right? And my CA final is going to be a test match. So when you will read CA final, we will discuss what is the difference there. But now in intermediate, understand a lot of efforts are going to be put in. You will have to spend more timing in studying. A lot of self study also is going to be there. So day one, when you are going to start your class today, you are going to first start this with a promise to yourself first, a promise to me, and a promise to your parents also, that you are going to not get tired. That's very important. You have to keep going on. That's important. You have got lots of things. Even if you're doing one group, first group now studying, you have got 4 subjects, right? Even if you give 2.5 hours a day for your 4 subjects, per subject it becomes 8 to 10 hours. And after that you have got your homework, you have to do a little bit of studying. So easily I can say around 10 to 12 hours you will be having your classes, you will be having of course a little bit of your homework and studies. So that itself is going to require lots and lots of hard work. First, it starts here. Make your mind strong and you understand that yes, I am going to do this. I am not going to stop. I am not going to give up. And my aim is scoring the best I can in my inter. That is the first thing you have to look at. Whenever you feel little shaken up, again remember your goal. My goal is my inter, and that too I want to clear it in maybe the first attempt with amazing marks. And if possible, I will also try for merit. Whatever it may be, your aim could be different. Some students are happy with just passing. Some students want to score very good and some want to come in the merit. Absolutely fine. You have to understand what is your aim. Well, now merit ranks now institute is now planning to stop that, so let's not discuss about it. But yes, one thing we have is definitely let us aim for scoring good and big. And is that possible? Of course it is possible. 100% it is possible. Just put in with a very positive attitude, put in your best, and a sure success is coming very soon your way. Okay, so now that is what I wanted to tell you. So let's now start this with a very positive mindset that yes, I will do it. I am going to put in 100% and nowhere I'm going to give up. That's how I started. Now going further, let's talk about our subject. So what is our subject called? This is your paper number 1 of accounting. Accounting to we learnt even in foundation, right? So in foundation what I have learnt was like basics. The subject we had called as principles and practices of accounting. Yes, you had a lot of things there also, basics you have known. So now we are going to go one step ahead. And in this, we are going to be learning about company accounts. We are going to learn about, some branch accounts, how they are maintained, hire purchase, etc. Different things we are going to be learning here. We are going to have introduction of accounting standards over here. So this is what basically we are going to learn further. Okay. Accounting is not new to us. Of course, it's not new. This is what I am becoming a chartered accountant. So obviously, accounts is going to be it is my strongest area. It should be my strongest area. So accounts is something you have been learning from your 11th, your 12th, your foundation, and inter. Obviously, we are going to go one step ahead in this. So that's what we are going to be having. The basic syllabus and all, I have it in the coming slides. I will show you all that. But understand, accounting as a subject, you don't have a choice. Absolutely no choice. You have to do it properly. Because if you don't do it, chartered accountants, our future chartered accountants don't do this properly, then who is going to do it in this country? So that's why you have to always be, yes, this is my core important subject. Okay, this is the first thing that you have to understand. Second thing, how psychologically this plays a role, I will tell you. This is my first paper of my first group. If at all, my first paper doesn't go like very good, it definitely impacts my second, third, fourth paper also. It should not. I will say once you have given the paper, it is over. It is not in your hands. Don't think. But saying is very easy. Okay. I also know it affects because even I have gone through the same thing. I will be telling you about all those things little later. But understand this that this has an impact even psychologically. So that's why you have to be even more careful with this. Next, what comes to our mind is how much can be scored in this paper. So let me tell you, a lot of our students have been merit rankers. A lot of our students have scored in 90s and 80s also in this paper. Yes, and therefore we can definitely aim for 80s and 90s. I will prepare you for 100 marks. Is 100 marks, full marks are possible in the paper? Yes, possible. Why not? Okay. So I will prepare you for 100 marks. Now it is up to you what you want to aim for. Okay. If you want to score good, I am there for you. And that's exactly what you should aim at. Maybe in foundation you got 70, 60 percentage or something like that. Does not mean anything that you can't get better in inter. You have to prepare even much more better and aim for a very good score. Some students would be happy with an exemption. Okay, fine. Some students want 80. Fine. See, it's not wanting only is enough. Okay, I want 100. I want 100. Everyone wants 100. But then you have to put in those many efforts and those much, things you have to do properly. So if you're ready, I am there. I will prepare you in such a way that I want you to score maximum. Okay. But now it is up to you how much you are ready to put in efforts and take. So that's what it is. Okay. The more you take knowledge with like open wide arms, trust me, you will be excelling to a limit which you can't even imagine. So remember, don't think that my capacity is only so much or that much. Always aim for the stars. You will end up somewhere, maybe on the moon. That is what you should have. Okay. So now as a subject, this is our core subject we have understood. It can be very scoring subject, we know. Being the first paper, it somewhere impacts my other papers also, I know. So knowing all this, now let's go further into this. Okay. So this is about our basic understanding about what this is. Now let me take you to the paper pattern. Now why paper pattern? Because that is the end thing which I have to do. I know I have to give my paper. So if I know exactly how my paper is, then I know how I'm going to prepare towards it. Okay. So in your paper pattern, understand it's a 100 marks paper. But since you have some choice in the paper, it becomes a 120 marks paper. That is, of course, with choice. So you have got 120 marks with options, I'm saying 120 marks. First thing. Question number 1 is the compulsory question. And normally, this question, they ask you question on accounting standards. So there are some students जो बोलते हैं कि accounting standards we will leave for option. don't even think about it, okay, because it's compulsory. You have no choice whatsoever here. Hmm? So in fact, ye question 1 has got accounting standards, and even question number 6, which is optional actually. From these questions means I'm saying between 2, 3 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have to answer any 4 questions out of 5. Okay, so 4 questions you have of 20 marks each. In that also we have got 6th question, which is again answer 4 out of 5 questions. And even in that, sometimes they ask you accounting standard questions. So accounting standards is going to be there in your paper. For us, it is our book number 2. I am going to give you total 3 books in this. Okay, in this entire syllabus, how we'll cover, we'll have 3 books. The second book of ours is our accounting standard book. Okay, so this is what we have, AS. Now, when I talk about the choice of questions, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have to answer any 4 out of these 5 questions, 20 marks each. Now, those 20 marks can be a 10 plus 10 question mark, 10 marks, 10 marks question can be there, or 12 plus 8 marks. There can be a 3A, B, C, a 10 mark question, 6 mark question, 4 mark question, like anyhow the combination can be. So because our institute is asking even 5 mark questions which are possible, 4 marks is also possible. So the chances are that the paper will be coming from like everywhere. So many times students think, let us leave this chapter for option, let us leave that. Why? The way institute has designed the paper format, even a 4 mark question can come. So why are we leaving anything? That is my main point. You should never leave things for option. Because if you leave any one chapter for option also, you make an optional paper compulsory. Suppose I have got a chapter like incomplete records. I leave that chapter. I say I don't want to do it. Now, if that only comes in my question number 2, for example, then I don't have a choice now. Second question is out. So I have made my optional paper compulsory. So never do that. So the first thing you have to understand is you should not leave anything for options. You should cover your whole syllabus. So I also give like proper weightage, proper time to all the chapters. Not I don't say this chapter is not important. Now we will not do it properly. Nah. Everything we will do properly. Okay, that is one thing you have to understand. So I hope the paper pattern is clear. So you have got 4 mark questions, 5 mark questions, 10 marks question, 12 possible, like that. All these chapters which I have, there is a weightage which is given by our institute. Okay, so while discussing this weightage, I'm also going to tell you what is the syllabus which you have. So let us go there. And yes, one thing which you have to see, which I have written in red over there, leave nothing for option. That is very important. Anyways, it's better we clear everything in the beginning only, so that we are prepared mentally to do our studies properly. Now this is what my syllabus is. As you can see, I have got first company accounts. Company accounts I have split it up into 8 chapters. Okay, so these are 8 chapters I have split up, and not necessarily my institute also has split it like this. Our books are going to have 8 chapters of company accounts. This is first thing. The weightage of that is going to be 30 to 35%. Again, good weightage is coming from here. Second, I have got is special transactions accounting. Accounting for special transactions like investments, how to account for. Okay, insurance claims, how do we calculate. Then we are going to learn about hire purchase installment system, how do we do the accounting, like that. What is hire purchase, what is installment, we will learn in the chapter. Only syllabus overview, like all overview I'm giving you right now. Then after that I have got special type of accounting, like for branches how I do accounting, departments how I do, and if I have incomplete records, it's called single entry also, then how I complete my records, how I do my balance sheet, P&L, that we learn. Okay, so basically these are like my 6 chapters. And these 14 chapters are my book number 1. I told you we have 3 books, right? So my book 1 consists of all the chapters, And then we have got our accounting standards, which is my book number 2. Okay, can you see the weightage now? My company accounts is like 30 to 35%, and my special investments and branch and all those accounts and everything, we have got again a good weightage. If I consider these 6 chapters, it is 40 to 50% weightage. And even my accounting standards, we know compulsory question of 20 marks comes from there. So 20 to 25% is basically that. Okay, so this is how it works. Yes, let me tell you, you have got only 6 accounting standards. Did you see here? 1, 2, 10, 11, 12 and 16. And 2 accounting standards we cover in our chapter. So this cash flow statements is accounting standard 3, okay, which I cover in my chapter only in my book 1. And my investments accounting is AS 13, which also I am covering in my book 1 only. So if you see the syllabus, you have 8 accounting standards, out of which 6 are in my book 2 and 2 accounting standards we cover in our chapters. So this is how we are going to go about this. I hope this is clear. Okay, so book 1, book 2. Now you will be thinking, what is going to be my book 3? Ma'am said 3 books are there. So kya hai ye third book? I will tell you that. It is called my master stroke book. क्या है master stroke? I will tell you. Let's see this further. Okay. Here we go. Before getting into master stroke book, there is some skills assessments given by ICAI. Now you know what? ICAI has decided that they are going to test you on these things. Okay. Means what? Comprehension and knowledge. Comprehension knowledge matlab उस type के questions where they ask you like discuss, explain, थोड़ा theory type questions, list, describe, state, all these are theory questions. तो accounts में how much theory comes? So normally 5 to 15 marks of theory. 5 to 15% of theory will be coming. Okay, not too much of theory, little bit of theory comes in the paper. That's why I said you can score 80, 90, even 100, no problem. Because of this, the theory is not so much, and most of the theory is accounting standard based theory which they ask you. Okay, and the second part, the major chunk, the questions are all practical. You have to make balance sheet, you have to do accounting entries. That part is analysis and application, which is 85 to 95% of your paper. Okay, so there you have to calculate, make balance sheet and all those things, identify, examine and analyze, advise, those kind of things which they are going to ask you. So what I'm trying to say is the practical questions are going to be 85 to 95%, which is very good for me because more practical means obviously more scoring. Okay, like that. So I hope this is clear. Next, what I have is how are we going to cover the syllabus? Okay, we understood. We have total 14 chapters. We are going to have our accounting standard books. How are we going to cover the syllabus? So this is our teaching style. The first thing, as I told you, 3 books, including the master stroke book. Suspense build up हो रहा है. What is master stroke? What is master stroke? Just wait 2 minutes. मैं बताने वाली हूँ. So 3 books are there. That is one. We have got colorful notes. We have the questions जो select हुए वो इंस्टीट्यूट मॉड्यूल कवर करता है. RTP, mock test papers, even your past exam questions, everything is in your book. So this book which you're going to have, okay, this is my book 1. This is going to be 100% covering all these things. तो you need to go nowhere else. मतलब इसको तुम accounts का Bible समझ लो. Everything will be covered here. You do this properly and like really well, the way I'm going to teach you. Trust me, no looking back. You are going to score amazingly good here. Okay. So सबसे पहले understand. Do I need to cover anything more? Answer is no. Why? Because everything is, I have done this now. I have done the all compilation for you in the best possible way. So you need to go nowhere further. Everything is here. Then we are going to have an inbuilt summary of the theory. How does that work? When I will teach you, I will show you. Okay. Similarly, when we teach, we have got 100% conceptual clarity. I always stress on the concepts because being a merit ranker, I know what is the importance of concepts. Okay. It is always going to be on that. It's not like, okay, what are the entries? How are the entries passed? You will understand them. There is a technique of doing it. So that is what conceptual clarity. And doubts is one thing you have to be very particular about. If you are having doubts, maximum times what happens is students don't ask, or they just wait, and then what happens is the doubts keep building up. So they mount up, इतने बढ़ जाते doubts, फिर then you start ना getting confused. Why? छोटा सा doubt also you have. क्या होता है many times teaching में, as and how the sum gets over, maximum doubts get over. And me having an experience of 14 years, I know that lot of times I know that where the students get doubts, so I try to cover it while teaching only. Okay, but still students are the students. They can have amazing creativity, बहुत सोचते रहते हैं, इसका डाउट उसका डाउट possible. तो then in that case, अगर फिर भी you have doubts, and by the time the chapter is over or that lecture is over, your doubt is not clear, तो कैसे करोगे contact? Either you can mail us, or you can WhatsApp us the doubts, or you can even call. All the numbers and all the details are going to be available for you, with you. So you have to take the first step. And I am very particular about doubts. I will solve all your doubts. Don't worry about it. ये छोटा सा doubt है, how to ask such a small basic doubt, how to ask, no problem. As teachers, we have seen silliest of doubts coming to us, and we have solved them all these years. तो कोई इशू नहीं है, छोटा डाउट बड़ा डाउट, नथिंग. डाउट इज अ डाउट. आस्क इट, क्लियर इट. ये तुमको खुद करना है. यू हैव टू आस्क मी. ओके. दूसरा है, बहुत सारे टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस वी हैव. हमने हर चैप्टर को डिवाइड किया है इनटू टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. आई विल शो यू कैसे डिवाइड किया है. एंड प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल्स वी आर गोइंग टू टेक, जैसे जैसे नेसेसरी होता है. We also take lots of practical examples, and that's how we are going to be teaching. So this is our teaching style to understand. Okay, 3 books. Again question, what is going to be my final master stroke book? So again, that is still going to build up the suspense. We still have one more thing to discuss, how we are going to learn. Okay, books and all, so we got it. Now, technique of learning, I follow the concept of, or the technique of CAST, CAST. 4 steps may we are going to learn. Okay, very importantly, I would say, out of experience, as a student, what experience I have got and got a merit rank, that experience. As a teacher, all the kinds of students that I have taught, be it in face to face, live, virtual, or even in our pen drive mode, or virtual classes, be that all experience together, I have devised a technique called the CAST technique. What is this CAST technique? The first C stands for the obvious. ये बहुत ही obvious है कि C होने वाला है concept building. पहला जो focus होना चाहिए, हमेशा concept पे होना चाहिए. तो ये concepts हम लोग कैसे cover करते? We are going to have the chapter. जिस chapter को हम लोगों ने छोटे छोटे cluster मतलब groups में divide किया. We divided it into parts. और फिर हर एक पार्ट में एक छोटा सा कंसेप्ट होता है, 2-3 कंसेप्ट, जो भी वो पार्ट के कंसेप्ट है, वी विल लर्न दैट इन डिटेल. और फिर वो कंसेप्ट्स वंस वी अंडरस्टैंड, देन द नेक्स्ट स्टेप गोज इज योर ए पॉइंट. इज दैट कंसेप्ट वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न हाउ टू अप्लाई इट. कंसेप्ट तो समझ गया, बट वो सम में हाउ टू अप्लाई इट, उसको कैसे यूज करना इन दैट सम, is going to be my application part. Okay, so first we understand the concepts, then we learn how to apply it. Question will come to your mind, how to apply, kya application matlab, how you are going to do it. Obviously we are going to be having a few MCQs which we are going to use. MCQs paper में don't come, नहीं आते, but concepts को build करने के लिए और उसको ना to see whether you've understood the concept, हमको थोड़े बहुत MCQs, थोड़े बहुत true or false, just to understand कि भाई ये जो concept building है, क्या वो सही जा रहा है, is it going proper, उसके लिए I need my application. मतलब ये छोटे मोटे MCQs, true or false. But exam में आने वाले obviously problems and sums, तो मेरे 5 stars and मेरा maximum time जो होने वाला है, वो होने वाला है towards the problem solving. और I do not flash the answers on the board. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं कि I put all the things. It's very easy मेरे लिए कि just put all the answers in that Excel sheet and just keep entering and it will keep coming. No, I don't do that. Because students should understand every single step how it has come. तो I always solve with you. हर बैच में, हर रिकॉर्डिंग में I solve the questions with you. तो सॉल्विंग से ऐसा होता है ना, यू एंड मेरा, हम दोनों का स्पीड मैचेस अप. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, ठीक है. नहीं तो क्या होता है, आंसर्स जब फ्लैश होते, आई जस्ट कीप फ्लैशिंग इट, तो वो स्पीड कभी कभी मैच नहीं होता. बट व्हेन आई एम सॉल्विंग विथ यू, तो ऑब्वियस है ना, स्पीड तो मैच होता ही है. दैट इज वाई हर सम को सॉल्व करना है. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, तो प्रॉब्लम्स इज गोइंग टू बी द मेन पार्ट. और इसमें हर टाइप के प्रॉब्लम्स मैंने कवर किए, उसको पार्ट वाइज डिवाइड किया. तो कंसेप्ट सीखा, उसके प्रॉब्लम सीखते, एंड देन वी गो अहेड. अब थर्ड स्टेप क्या आता है, ये तो हो गया कंसेप्ट बिल्डिंग एंड एप्लीकेशन. माय एस पॉइंट इज योर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, दैट इज अबाउट योर स्पीड. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एग्जाम में मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स सब चैप्टर्स दे डू इट, स्टडी भी करते, दे डू एवरीथिंग, बट क्या हो जाता है ना, दे कैन नॉट कंप्लीट द पेपर. बहुत बार स्टूडेंट्स टेल अस कि 100 मार्क्स का पेपर कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ, आई रोट 80 मार्क्स, आई रोट 70 मार्क्स. You ask them, क्यों तुमने पढ़ाई नहीं किया था? You had not studied for 100 days. Say, no, I did not get the time. So no matter how good your concepts are, no matter how many sums you have practiced, if you cannot finish it in those 3 hours, क्या फायदा, right? So that is why it is about the speed. और हाँ, very important. Just I want to do fast. Not enough. You also have to be accurate. तो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एक बार जब हम कंसेप्ट्स को पूरा अच्छे से वी डू, उसके बाद वी लर्न टू अप्लाई द कंसेप्ट्स आल्सो प्रॉपर्ली. नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज उस सम को एक टाइम लिमिट में हाउ टू सॉल्व. तो हर सम को हम लोग को कितना टाइम देना चाहिए, आई टेल यू दैट. तो उस हिसाब से तुमको स्पीड एंड एक्यूरेसी पे भी वी कैन वर्क ऑन. फर्स्ट फ्यू सम्स जो होते हैं वी डू इट विथ एकदम स्लो स्पीड, ठीक है, नॉर्मल समझने के लिए एक एक स्टेप आई एम अंडरस्टैंडिंग. एक बार वो समझ गया, नेक्स्ट फोकस इसको टाइम में कैसे सॉल्व करना है. दैट इज माय एस पॉइंट. और ये सब कुछ राइट इज इट्स गोइंग इन द राइट डायरेक्शन और नो, हाउ डू आई नो दैट? तो उसके लिए कम्स माय पॉइंट नंबर टी. एंड दैट पॉइंट नंबर टी, आई थिंक यू शुड हैव गेस्ड इट अभी तक. गेस करो. इट इज गोइंग टू बी योर टेस्ट. यस, हर चैप्टर का I have got test. Okay, chapter wise test we have, so that you know exactly which chapter you are going good, which chapter you are going, you are going maybe little slow or weak, and you have to improve on that. हर एक चीज होता है. तो हर चैप्टर के बाद we have got test also. ठीक है, तो जब तक you don't solve, अभी virtual students अभी कभी कभी ना पेन ड्राइव virtual students they see like they are seeing some TV program लगा दिया and here I'm listening. That's not how you do it. You have to sit properly, have your screen here, you have your book here, you solve everything that you're seeing, do it properly, everything. Okay, the challenge here is that it is very convenient to sit at home and study. It is amazing, the comforts of your home you're getting, everything is going fine, but you need to be disciplined. So when you sit, you have to solve. Don't just see, be involved in the lecture. So you will learn maximum even with your video classes. Remember that. Okay, so test also, when I say, you have to sit, solve the test, and properly within time, and then see where you went wrong. Or you can ask me also what is going wrong, everything. So this will be the complete way that we are going to cover this whole vast syllabus of yours. Okay, so this is about your test, your solving, cast technique. Okay, and next we have got your book 1 and book 2, which is, I already told you, book 1 consists of your 8 chapters of company accounts. You have 6 chapters of other topics, so total 14 chapters. And book 2 we have got your accounting standards. Okay, 6 accounting standards with an introduction chapter and some framework chapter. These are also important. This also comes in the exam. So we have that in our book number 2. And now finally the suspense is going to open up. What is book 3, ma'am? What is this master stroke book? So let us see that now. The final book number 3. Why I call it master stroke? Because 1 and 2 everybody does. But the one who wants to score and who wants to do the best will also do book number 3. My syllabus gets over in book 1 and 2. If you ask me, my work gets over in 1 and 2. Okay? But you as a student, if you want to score the best, book 3 is the key. Why? Because book 3 has got, first of all, a summary of each chapter. Okay? While studying the chapter, we understand the things. Then, when you want to read it one day before the exam, you need everything at one place. Book 3 will give you that, a summary. Not only that, there'll be small, concepts and all those entries and everything that you have learned in book 1, it is all given over there again so that you can revise it in proper time. So, this is like your revision book. But then what about your tests and all? So that also we give you in our book number 3. We also give you some extra self-study problems there with solutions. Okay. So this is what is special about this book. We are going to give you extra practice questions because what happens is whatever we do in class, हम लोग साथ में करते हैं. We're doing it together. तो जब हम टुगेदर करते हैं तो it sometimes happens कि you don't go wrong because I am there to guide you. बट जब तुम वो खुद करते हो, यू डू इट योर सेल्फ, उस टाइम पे समझ में आता है कि वेयर एम आई गोइंग रॉन्ग, कौन से स्टेप में मैं अटक रहा है मेरा गाड़ी. दैट यू विल कम टू नो व्हेन यू विल बी डूइंग दैट एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चंस फॉर प्रैक्टिस. तो हर चैप्टर के कुछ क्वेश्चंस आई गिव यू विद आंसर्स इन माय दैट मास्टर स्ट्रोक बुक फॉर एक्स्ट्रा प्रैक्टिस. ठीक है, तो एक्स्ट्रा प्रैक्टिस टू स्कोर वेरी लाइक बेटर. ओके, तो ये मेरा पॉइंट है. और टेस्ट भी विद सॉल्यूशंस विद आंसर्स आई गिव यू चैप्टर वाइज, वो भी आई गिव यू इन द बुक. वो क्या हो जाता है, इफ आई गिव इन जस्ट पेपर्स, ऐसे पेपर्स करके बच्चे ना दे लूज द पेपर्स. तो इससे अच्छा हम लोग क्या करते हैं, उसको बुक में ही देते हैं इन मास्टर स्ट्रोक बुक नंबर 3. सो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई आई कॉल इट द मास्टर स्ट्रोक बुक. ठीक है, सो दिस इज हाउ योर बुक्स आर गोइंग टू बी. This is your the techniques that we are going to learn with the cast technique. We have learnt about your paper pattern. In fact, सब कुछ हम लोगों ने about the basic things about the subject भी सीख लिया है. तो ये भी तो मालूम चाहिए कि who am I, correct? You should know about me also, right? So there is this concept like know your teacher. So this is me, CA Neha Lathi Mittal. So basically, I have cleared my CA like 14 years back. I have cleared it. I've been teaching rather for 14 years. I've cleared 1 or 2 years before that, because after my CA also I have done some more degrees. Okay, so let me tell you about myself. In my CA, I have come 3rd and 5th all over India in P2 and final. Earlier we had got P2. Actually, no. In fact, before P2 we had got inter only originally. Then it became P2. Then it became, I think, PCC. Then it became IPCC, something like that. Now it has again become inter. So we have come back a circle now. We are back to intermediate. But when I was studying, it was P2. Okay. So 3rd and 5th, I was first in Pune in both those exams. I have also done my CISA. I have DISA qualification, which is Certified Information Systems Audit. This CISA is a US degree, and DISA is same degree but of Indian Institute of CAs of India, ICI. They have diploma in information systems audit. I have done that. Plus US, you have got an exam called CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. I have cleared all the 3 levels of this as also. So this is about that. I have very recently cleared my DIP IFRS UK exams. Basically now international standards have come, international financial reporting standards. In our India, we have got IND AS which have come. So to get more knowledge of that, I have given my DIP IFRS UK based exam, and I have also qualified that. So that's about me. I have been a merit ranker not just in CA, but I've been in my 12th standard, my BCom, my MCom. I have been throughout in the merit. I have guided around 25,000 plus students over these 14 years. So a lot of experience, which I have not 30 now, it's 14 years by the way. And I definitely believe in this, what I'm flashing on the screen now. No substitute for hard work. That is very important. Okay, there is no substitute for hard work. You have to work hard. Yes, you can always work smarter, but doesn't mean smart work is like a shortcut. No, smart work is like small tips to do good. But end of the day, hard work is important, and there is no shortcut to success. You want to be successful, you have to slog. You have to slog. Okay? Doesn't mean in the wrong direction. Direction, I am there to give you, and hard work you have to give me. Then absolutely nothing can come between you and our success together. Okay? So no substitute for hard work and no shortcut to success. We have to work and we will do it. Okay? So this is my mantra. I believe in this firmly. Okay? As I already told you, completely conceptual clarity I'm looking for. I have also done it like that, and I want you also, my students, to be in the same way. And one important thing which I, feel that students should always learn how to think. My work as a teacher is not to give you answers to this question. My work as a teacher is to develop that thinking in you. That I will give you, say, 10 problems we will solve together. In the exam, after solving 500 sums, also I go, I will get the 501st sum in the exam. I should know how to approach it. Okay, because in life, you're not going to have a set of problems from which you're going to be tested. You are going to be tested in every walk of life in different ways. तो मेरा फोकस ये होता है कि स्पून फीड मत करो सोल्यूशन, ये आंसर है, ये नहीं है मेरा फंडा. मेरा फंडा होता है उस चीज को समझो, ये आंसर कैसे आया, हाउ डिड इट कम. ये भी सोचना है कि ये कभी कभी स्टूडेंट्स थिंक अ लिटिल रॉन्ग डायरेक्शन में, तो वो रॉन्ग क्यों है, व्हाई इट इज रॉन्ग, ये भी हैव टू थिंक. तो ये हिसाब से थिंकिंग को डेवलप करो, तो ऑटोमेटिकली यू विल बी एबल टू गेट एनी एग्जाम क्वेश्चन. कोई भी क्रैक कर सकते हो तुम, कितना भी डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन, कितना भी डिफिकल्ट पेपर, यू विल क्रैक इट. क्यों? क्योंकि तुम्हारा थिंकिंग एबिलिटी डेवलप करना है. दैट इज माई जॉब. ओके, तो ये मैं करूंगी पूरी तरह से, तुमको यहां से स्ट्रॉन्ग करूंगी वेरी मच. जो ये सब्जेक्ट को हम लोग करेंगे, मतलब मजा आ जाएगा. यू आर गोइंग टू एंजॉय थॉरली. बस तुमको थोड़ा सा मेहनत की तैयारी करो, वो प्रॉमिस मुझे दो, बाकी सब कुछ लीव इट टू मी. ओके, सो ये हो गया व्हाट आई बिलीव इन. तो आई एम श्योर ये सब देख के तुम ये तो समझ गए ना कि यू आर इन सेफ हैंड्स. आई एम श्योर तुम बिल्कुल सेफ हैंड्स में हो, एंड वी विल बी डूइंग दिस रियली गुड टुगेदर. ओके, so I hope about me, about the syllabus, about your, entire books and teaching style is all clear. So now let us start with our chapters. So today we'll be starting with our easy chapter. क्योंकि first day है, तो I don't want to start with a very difficult chapter. Slowly जैसे comfortable हो जाएंगे, we'll go to the difficult chapters. Okay, तो आज बहुत ही सिंपल चैप्टर विच इज कॉल्ड चैप्टर नंबर 5, प्रॉफिट प्रायर टू इनकॉर्पोरेशन. ठीक है, तो ये चैप्टर नंबर 5 वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद टुडे. और ये जो है, इट इज अ सिंपल चैप्टर, इट इज important chapter because normally this will come, question can come from your 5 marks also, up to 10 marks question normally comes from this chapter. Okay, हर पेपर में we have a question from this chapter. ऐसा every paper almost there has been a question from this. 5 marks का पूछेंगे, लेकिन they will ask you something. Okay, so it is that way is important. Now before I go ahead, I will show you how every chapter I have made. Okay, so first of course we have the theory. Theory को बहुत ही simplified, simple I have made it for you, क्योंकि institute module has all the theory but it is, बहुत ज़्यादा vast it is, so it is required to be summarized. तो वो हमने किया है, so that is one good thing. तो पहले तो we have got the theory properly presented, concept wise presented. उसके बाद हम लोग के sum start होते. We have got a few MCQs, जैसे मैंने बोला था, MCQs true or false, whatever required. These are all easy, institute based only. Now problems. Now this is where what I have done, I will show you. I have split up the problems into types. Okay, so we start with the basic types. हर sum के लिए I have given you the type कि कौन से type में आता है वो. तो once we learn the concept, उस type के sums we do. Okay, वैसे ही then all types of sums I have given. we start with easy sums. You will see almost हर question को I have given you the base कि कहाँ से वो question I have taken. तो मॉक टेस्ट पेपर मार्च 18 का ये 5 मार्क का क्वेश्चन वहां से. ओके अगर वहां पे जगह नहीं लिखा, आई हैव नॉट रिटन, इट कुड बी फ्रॉम द इंस्टीट्यूट मॉड्यूल, इट कुड इवन बी फ्रॉम द ओल्ड सिलेबस, कोई सिलेक्टेड क्वेश्चंस या कोई अच्छे टेक्स्ट बुक से आई हैव टेकन इट, ऐसा हो सकता है, दैट इज पॉसिबल. बट वेर एवर पॉसिबल आई हैव गिवन यू द रेफरेंस. अब दिस क्वेश्चन यू कैन सी again, the type is this, showing making a statement. This has come in your November 20 exam question, 5 marks with weightage. Okay, then of course you can see how the problems are presented. Just to show you, RTP questions also are covered. Everything has been properly done for you. Okay, because मेरा वो नहीं कि कुछ भी बोलो और वो करो नहीं. Whatever I say I do. In fact एक हिंदी मूवी का डायलॉग है, जो मैं बोलता हूँ वो मैं करता हूँ, जो मैं नहीं बोलता वो भी मैं करता हूँ. So I will also do that. I will try to give you the best. Even what I could not say everything this I'm going to do, even that I will be doing for you. Okay. My idea is very simple, to prepare you for getting maximum. Okay. So I hope you understood. So this is how we have now. Even you, so you don't need to see RTP, MTP, nothing. MTP of your attempt you have to see. So for example, you're giving your exam in 21 November 21, or you're giving it in May 22, for example. So then in that case, what? That particular RTP and that mock test paper of your attempt, that you will have to do extra. Okay, but other than that, whatever is there till date, I have covered it. So I hope this is clear. So you got a good idea about how the chapter and the questions will be there. All types of questions, everything properly covered for you. Okay, so ample of practice we are going to be having. So let's today start with the concept. And this chapter, as I told you, is called Profit Prior to Incorporation. So what is the meaning of it? Chalo, let's understand. To understand this, I'm going to start with an example. पहले example, concept, and then we will see the theory part. तो चलो, क्या होता है ना, in your law तुमने थोड़ा बहुत सीखा रहेगा कि कंपनी के फॉर्मेशन कैसे होती है, हाउ अ कंपनी इज फॉर्म्ड. स्टेजेस होते हैं कंपनी के. पहले प्रमोशन स्टेज होता है. प्रमोशन स्टेज में प्रमोटर्स कम और दे डिस्कस आइडियाज कि हमको कंपनी फॉर्म करना है. एंड देन दे ना लाइक इट्स एन आइडिया का जो जन्म होता है, इट्स जस्ट द इंसेप्शन ऑफ द आइडिया which is the promotion stage. Okay, then after that they do all the legal formalities and all, and फिर they incorporate the company. Okay, so incorporation of the company is what is going to happen after that. Am I right? First is going to be the promotion stage, then it is going to be, it will get incorporated. Incorporated means what? It is going to get registered, because a company is a legal form of organization. It needs to get registered with registrar of companies. You have to make the memorandum articles and all those things and all legal formalities. You have to pay ROC fees, registration fees, and you have to get incorporated. है ना, legal formalities are there. तो incorporation होता है. उसके बाद if it is a public company, listed or public company, let's talk about, so they will have to issue the shares to the public, and they will have to collect the subscriptions, from the people. So like minimum subscription, all they need to collect. So we are going to have the issue of capital. But this will be for whom? This will be if your company is a public company. And after issuing the shares, issue of capital, they are, they will be then getting a certificate of commencement. Certificate of commencement. Can I call these the stages of company formation? Yes. You have learned this in your law, or you would be learning it, whatever. But basic, you know about this. Now what happens is, okay, as I told you, here at incorporation, I mean, a private limited company is totally formed. There is nothing it needs to do beyond this, because private companies are not issuing the shares to public. Okay, so they are formed here. But a public company has to go to these extra stages. So for a public company, all these 4 stages it has to go through. I am not technically teaching you how a company is formed, just normal basic knowledge, क्योंकि वो तुम लॉ में करोगे, you will do it in law. मेरे लिए what is important is मेरे चैप्टर से how this is linked. हाँ, तो listen carefully. अब क्या होता है, if there is a company which is getting formed to take over business, तो अभी एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, ठीक है. अब आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस वॉट एवर आई टोल्ड यू. तो अभी एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे वी विल टेक एक फैमिली मैनेज्ड बिजनेस है. ओके, देयर इज अ फैमिली मैनेज्ड बिजनेस जिसमें पप्पा है, उनके दो बेटे हैं, यू नो, फादर एंड 2 sons आर हैविंग अ फैमिली मैनेज्ड, मे बी अ पार्टनरशिप और HUF काइंड ऑफ थिंग, HUF यू नो फॉर्म ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. तो उसको हम लोग नाम रखते XY एंड सन्स. ये एक बिजनेस है विच दे आर रनिंग. अब व्हाट हैपेंस इज they think कि यार there is a lot of limitation here, हम लोग को प्राइवेट कंपनी फॉर्म करना है और we want to grow now, so we want to form a company. अब ये form a company, they will only form एक possibility, or it is possible that another company says that अरे this business is doing good, I want to buy this business, I want to take over the business. Anything is possible. So now there is one company which is planning to take over XY and Sons, right? This company is still not formed, but they have entered into an agreement, or they have decided to buy the business. So that company's name we will call X Private Limited. For example, this company is doing what? They want to buy the business of XY and Sons. So they buy this business from a particular date. They decide that I'm going to buy your business from this date, with effect from this date I will buy your business. So with effect from this date means what? Let's take an example. The date is 1/4/21. So they say we will take over your business from 1/4/21. Now you will think, but private limited company is still not formed, right? I told you it is not yet formed. Then how come I'm giving the name? Because there are formalities, legal formalities hote. Promotion stage is over. We know the company wants to take over this business, but all the other formalities are taking place. It is taking time, okay? But they have decided to buy the business from 1/4/21. Now what happens is the company gets registered or incorporated. All the legal formalities are over. Let's say, for example, on 1st of July 2021. Okay, so the company, before even getting incorporated, before getting registered, they have entered into a contract, I would say rather an agreement with XY and Sons, जो running business है. XY and Sons is a running business. Okay, what is this? It is a running business. Running business. It could be a partnership firm, it could be another company, or it could even be a HUF, कुछ भी. It's a running business. तो running business है of XY and Sons, X Private Limited, which is still to be formed, but they have bought the business from 1/4/21, and the company legal formalities gets over on 1/7/21. So now from 1/4/21, from the day they have purchased the business till the day the company got incorporated, listen carefully. What did I just say? From 1/4/21 till 1st July 21, okay, will that XY and Sons stop doing business? क्या वो business हाथ ऊपर कर देंगे? I am not doing business. अब मैंने बेच दिया. नहीं, business will still go on. ठीक है, हो सकता है X Private Limited में कोई नहीं, वही लोग हैं XY and Sons ही वापस, they are only going to become directors, owners, है ना? So business will be running. Now that period, okay, is called the pre-incorporation period. Pre-incorporation. क्या बोला मैंने? Pre-incorporation, this period. Because इसमें जो 1/7/21 है, this is what I call as my incorporation date. ये है ना incorporation date. This is my incorporation date. So anything before this is called pre-incorporation, and whatever happens after this is called post-incorporation. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Let's understand the concept properly. So till here, what did we go? We understand that yes, we have a business X, Y, and Sons, which another company is now planning to take over, but the company is still not formed. वो अभी तक legal formalities में है, और 1/7 को finally the company gets incorporated, मतलब it is registered now. तो now it is a legal entity. ठीक है, तो क्वेश्चन ये आता है, तो ये जो अप्रैल मई जून 3 months है, this pre-incorporation in my example is 3 months. This is the pre-incorporation period we call it. Okay, तो ये 3 months का जो प्रॉफिट हो रहा है, has the company actually earned it? क्या कंपनी ने अर्न किया है प्रॉफिट? नहीं, it is not actually earned by the company. It was earned even before company was in existence. कंपनी तो केम ओनली ऑन 1st जुलाई, तो इसके पहले का जो 3 months का प्रॉफिट है, that profit is not actually a regular revenue profit. So the profit earned in this period is what we call as the pre-incorporation profit. So whatever profit is earned in this period is called, which profit is earned? Pre-incorporation profit. Even when company is not formed, then too profit is being earned. Why? Because it's a running business they have taken over. So being a running business, this is what you have to understand. Okay, so pre-incorporation period is the date from the business takeover. What is 1/4/21? The day when the business was taken over till the incorporation date. This is what we have here. I hope this is clear. Now, year end will be coming. Year end will come now of the company. So let's say the year end is going to be coming when? The year end will be, now company is formed now. 1st July company has been formed. Now comes your year end. So year end will be 31st of March 22. Normally year end is 31st March only. For companies so it is 31st March only, but I'm just saying that it will be the year ending date. So this period from 1/7/21 till 31st March 22, this is the first year that company has been formed. Okay, and they have earned profit even before that, right? That period before was called pre-incorporation period, and the period after this till the year end 31st March is what? This is your year end. You have to write this all in your notebook. Notebook में लिखना है सब कुछ. So this thing is nothing but called the post incorporation period. How much is this in my example? From 1st July to 31st March, this is going to be a period of 9 months. Is going to be your post incorporation period. ठीक है? तो one thing you have to understand कि जब भी you are having this question, first you have to see is what is the date of incorporation and divide your period. Okay, pre and post. Divide it. The moment you divide your period, it becomes like, pre-incorporation period, so many months, post-incorporation, so many months. Okay. The profit earned in this is your regular normal profit, right? We can call this the post-incorporation profit. Means this is the regular profit. This is normal profit. Why? Because company is formed and company is doing business, company is earning it. So what is the big deal? Okay. My chapter is not called post-incorporation profit. My chapter is called pre-incorporation profit. What is to be done about this is my chapter. Post-incorporation is regular profit, right? So what is this pre-incorporation profit? Because the company had not been formed and still they are getting the profit for those 3 months, those profits are in the nature of capital. These are capital profits. You know what is capital profit and revenue profit? Revenue profit is regular profit. You are doing business, you are earning profit, it is revenue profit. That's what you're doing the business for, to earn revenue profit. But here you were lucky, तुमको 3 months का profit मिला, and that is the capital profit I am talking about. अब ये capital profit क्योंकि why it is capital? Because one, your company was not even existing that time. Still you earn the profit. Will that happen every time? No. Revenue profit, regular profit, every time happening. But capital profit does not happen every time. So capital profit is your once, sometimes it happens. This kind of profit will happen only once in the lifetime of the company. एक ही बार होगा पूरे lifetime of the company में, क्योंकि company जो incorporate होगा वो एक ही date रहेगा, one date of incorporation, and you have taken over a running business till that date is free. Only once this will happen in the lifetime of the company. So this is a capital profit. अब what is the difference between capital profit and revenue profit? एक तो this is the normal course of business जो होता है वो revenue profit है, और जो not in the normal course कुछ different is happening, that is capital profit. It happens once, sometimes, okay, that kind of thing. Okay, so capital profits are what we say they're not distributable. They are not to be distributed as dividend, not to be distributed as dividend. That is only the basic thing, no? Capital profits are not distributable. इसका one more example I will give you, है ना? एक concept है which is called revaluation. कि हम लोगों ने let's say we had purchased some land. 20 years back we had purchased a land for 10 lakh rupees. Today the market value of that land is 100 crores. Just example. So 10 lakh I am showing in the books, right? Then I decide no, 100 crore the value is, I should show it. Then you can revalue that land. तो तुम land को 100 crores पे लेके आते हो. The moment, or let's take for easy calculation sake 1 crore the values of the land. So 10 lakh ka land, now it has become 1 crore. So you say I want to revalue the land. So 10 lakh land, you take it up to 1 crore. So this 90 lakh amount which is there, this 90 lakh is taken to a revaluation reserve. अब ये revaluation reserve, is that a capital profit or is it a revenue profit? Is it come in my normal course of business? ये मेरा business है क्या revaluing the assets? Is it my business? No. So this profit is called a capital profit. One. Second thing, can I distribute dividend from this? Of course not, क्योंकि this profit is not realized. ये तो सिर्फ book entry है ना, to show your value of the land. Actual में unless you sell that land, you have not realized the profit. So that is the reason that is not a distributable profit. ये जो profit है ये भी capital profit है. This is realized. मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ it is not realized. It is realized profit. But वो उस time का है जब you were not even existing as a company. So that is why it cannot be distributed as dividend, whereas revenue profit is normally distributable profit. This is the basic difference. Distributable profit. Okay. So in this concept, what all did we learn? We learned that what is pre-incorporation period, what is post-incorporation period. We learned incorporation date is the base. Okay, what happens before that, or what you have taken over a running business, the profit earned in that period is the pre-incorporation profit, which is a capital profit not available for dividend, whereas post-incorporation regular profit है which is available for dividend. अब why am I doing all this? क्योंकि जब तुम लोग अपना P&L बनाओगे on 31st March 22, तो तुम वो P&L को you normally make the profit and loss for the year ended, है ना? You do for the year ended, पूरे year का you show. But in this case, this first year of the company, you will have to split your year into two parts. क्योंकि जो नॉर्मल पीएनएल है दैट इज अ रेवेन्यू थिंग विच गोज एंड स्टेज इन पीएनएल, डिविडेंड यू कैन गिव, बट ये जो है 3 months दिस इज द capital profit. So only first year you will have to separate it. Next year 22-23 in my example, no problem, absolutely fine, because that will be regular profit. Okay, so only that's why you need to divide it, and that's how this is come. So now we understood the basic concept. See the name of the chapter, profit prior to. Prior means before incorporation. So this is what I'm talking about, pre-incorporation profit. Prior to incorporation, whatever is earned, this being a capital profit, we need to understand and take the treatment properly. So I hope you understood the concept, right? So here what did we learn? We learned this first part. Intro that we gave, okay? In whatever I taught you, let us highlight it here. So you don't need to read the whole theory. Your notebook and highlighted part is what you have to see. बस और कुछ भी देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, ज़्यादा भी theory में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, because in this chapter sums are more important. Theory सिर्फ हम concept समझने के लिए देखते हैं. तो चलो, when running business is taken over by a company, the P&L earned by the company till the date of incorporation, right? That profit, क्योंकि company is earning but company is not yet formed, will be shown separately. Why? Because it is capital in nature. ठीक है, तो हम अपने जो है अकाउंटिंग पीरियड को we will divide it in 2 parts. One, from last balance sheet date till the date of incorporation. So we said from your date of the acquisition, 1st April 21 in my example, till incorporation date 1st July in my example. Then second period will be from date of incorporation till balance sheet date. We already saw that. So there's another example given here, right? So you can see the pre and post incorporation period, normal that is. Then when running business is taken over, what happens? The profit or loss from that purchase date, profit or loss from that date of purchase of business till the incorporation date is called profit or loss prior to incorporation, right? This is what we have also written. This is capital in nature, but why capital? Because company cannot do any business before incorporation. Why? It is not even formed yet, so it is getting profit. So that is the reason. And the date of incorporation, very important point, star mark point. Incorporation date ही लेना है, not commencement of business date. In case of public companies, क्या होता है ना, in public companies, we saw the stages of formation. उसमें commencement date भी देते कभी कभी, just to confuse you, कि commencement of business was on this date. हाँ, तो you don't see that date. चैप्टर का नाम is profit prior to incorporation. बस incorporation is what I have to see, and till there only. After that, regular revenue profit starts. Okay, so this is what you have to remember. Commencement date is not important. Why? Profit prior to incorporation. So incorporation date is important. I hope this is clear. You understood this? I'm sure you would have understood now. Okay, तो ये हो गया अपना concept. अब क्वेश्चन है कि ये जो प्रॉफिट आ रहा है, हाउ डू आई अकाउंट फॉर इट, कैसे उसका अकाउंटिंग, मतलब क्या ट्रीटमेंट होगा ऑफ अकाउंटिंग. ओके, तो दिस इज माय नेक्स्ट कंसेप्ट, अकाउंटिंग ट्रीटमेंट क्या होगा ऑफ दिस प्रॉफिट और लॉस प्रायर टू इनकॉर्पोरेशन. तो अब मेरी बात बिल्कुल ध्यान से सुनना. तो जो भी प्रॉफिट है, ओके, दैट इज अ कैपिटल प्रॉफिट. So this capital profit is straight away taken to capital reserve. Where? Capital reserve. Okay? Because it's a profit, it is credit to capital reserve. क्योंकि profit है. Okay? But they have given some or also. Or credited to goodwill. Goodwill कहाँ से आ गया? What is this goodwill? So to understand why goodwill can come in picture, we have to understand a few entries which are passed. So now listen carefully to what I'm saying. Again with an example. Okay. I'm taking a very simple and a very basic example for you. This same example, the XY and Sons, their running business is being taken over by whom? Running business is taken over by that X private limited company. So now, let's say, listen carefully, that XY and Sons have net assets. What are net assets? It is your assets, whatever are there of that business, minus whatever liabilities. Now, suppose the business has, let's say, 10 crore of assets, okay? And they have got 2 crore of loan. 10 crore of assets, 2 crores of loan. So, what is their net assets? Only 8 crore, na? So, example I'm taking, net assets is 8 crore. Okay? Now, second thing that is there is the purchase consideration. Means how much is that company paying to them? And you're buying a business, so you have to pay money for it, right? So the company is promised to pay them a consideration. A purchase consideration means the amount to be paid is, let's say, for example, 10 crores, right? So now company is paying 10 crores, but they are getting net assets of 8 crores. So now if I see in the books of the company, if I think in the books of the company, which is the buyer basically, what entries are going to be passed? First entry, when they entered into agreement, we will buy your business. The first entry is going to be when they have entered into agreement that we will buy your business for how much? 10 crores. Okay. By the way, this 10 crore is going to be paid 5 crore in cash. Cash means through bank or check. Cash is not allowed now at transactions. And 5 crore in equity shares of the company. Now this is my example. So XY and Sons, they are going to get 10 crores. Company has purchased their business for 10 crores. So first entry which company is going to be passing is for your PC due. What is it for? The PC due, purchase consideration due. Ki Baba, I am taking a business and I have to pay. So come on, we will understand the transaction, we will get the entry. Remember, you have full amalgamation chapter in your intermediate group 2 advanced accounts. Here only concept I am telling you basic. Okay. So PC due means I have to pay them. Okay. Let's say a company is buying something from creditor. Purchases, normal purchase you do. Normal purchase, what entry you pass? You say purchases to creditor. You do that now. So here also, because you are not paying it immediately, you will pay it afterwards. So PC due entry you will pass. What is the entry going to be? Purchases. So this is not a regular purchase. This is a business purchase. So you will be saying, okay, business purchase account debit. Because it's not a regular ना day to day purchase थोड़ी है, it's a business purchase. तो तुम बोलोगे business purchase account debit to किसको देना है पैसा? Who you have to pay? You have to pay. Who is your creditor right now? That XY and Sons. Or let me say to the vendor जो बेच रहा है business ना, you are the buyer but he is the seller. तो can I say to the vendor? Vendor मतलब जो भी seller है business का, उसको you have to pay the money. तो तुम हो the company और तुमको किसको पैसा देना? In our example it is to XY and Sons. तो तुम एंट्री पास करोगे business purchase account debit 10 crores to vendor, you have to pay 10 crores. Vendor मतलब अपने एग्जाम्पल में XY and Sons, इनको तुमको 10 crore देने हैं. सिंपल एंट्री, ठीक है. अब दूसरा एंट्री when you will take over their business. अभी नेट एसेट्स टेकन ओवर, अभी तुम उनके बिजनेस को टेक ओवर कर रहे हो, तुम बाय कर रहे हो, तुम उनको ले रहे हो. तो अभी व्हाट इज कमिंग इन? क्या आने वाला है अंदर? तुमको अंदर आने वाले हैं क्या? एसेट्स आने वाले, वो बिजनेस की बाइंग इट ना, एसेट्स अकाउंट डेबिट आने वाला है. तो हमने जो एग्जांपल लिया था, राइट, कुछ ऐसा लिया था हमने. वी हैड सेड 10 crore ऑफ एसेट्स minus 2 crores of liabilities. ऐसा कुछ लिया था ना लोन का या कुछ. तो we will take over everything. Business ले रहे तो 10 crore के assets will also come. So assets account debit. जो भी assets आ रहे हम लोग ले रहे. अब वो assets में there can be property, plant, equipment, debtors, cash, bank, कुछ भी रहने दो. We are just trying to understand assets account debit. कितना आया? 8 नहीं बोलेंगे हम लोग, 10 बोलेंगे. 10 crore because asset तो 10 आया. एक लाइन छोड़ के 2 liabilities भी तो लिया ना, लोन और समथिंग विच इज 2 crores. तो उस हिसाब से नेट वी हैव गॉट 8. 10 assets to this. So ऐसा करके 8 has come. And this 8 is coming against what? क्यों आ रहा है 8 अपने बुक्स में? Because we have purchased ना business. तो next is going to be to your business purchase. Means to business purchase, how much you have to pay these people? You have to pay them 10 crores. तो बेसिकली ये जो बिजनेस परचेज था ना, इसके अगेंस्ट यू आर गेटिंग नेट 8 crore ऑफ एसेट्स. अब आता है प्रॉब्लम. भाई आ रहा है नेट 8 अमाउंट और जा रहा है 10. क्या बोला मैंने? आ रहा है नेट 8. नेट बोल रही हूँ अभी. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग ऑफ ग्रॉस लाइबिलिटी अलग से. आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ नेट. कमिंग only 8 and I'm giving 10. So 2 extra I'm giving. So what is that 2 extra for? Something hidden na it is. For which I'm giving you 2 extra. So that hidden amount is what I call as my goodwill. तो इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं goodwill account debit. Which is it? 2 crore, which is the net amount of goodwill, which is your balancing figure. BF or I use balancing figure is जो बचा है वो अमाउंट. सिंपल. तो अगर मैं अभी तुमको एक अलग वे में समझाऊं तो बेसिकली आया 8 राइट और गया 10. तो 2 एक्स्ट्रा किसके लिए दिया? टुवर्ड्स गुडविल. सो यू गिव एक्स्ट्रा टुवर्ड्स गुडविल. दैट्स व्हाई वी डेबिट गुडविल. राइट. नाउ स्टूडेंट विल थिंक, मैम you said 8 came and 10 gone, so 2 is towards goodwill. Understood. But what if it was another question, that the net assets were 11 crores and I got this business for 10? This question should come to your mind and I will answer it little later. First let me finish with this concept. Okay, and then comes my third and the final entry. अब क्या हो गया? You had PC due, you purchased the business. Now you took over the assets. Now what you have to do? हाँ, students ना 1 and 2 समझ जाते, but they forget the third point, that is you have to pay ना. You have to pay for this. अभी तक you have only passed entry. I have to pay. You have not actually paid. So now you will actually pay. तो actually pay करोगे तो क्या करोगे? तो the next is going to be for the payment of the PC. किसको पे करने वाले हैं? वेंडर को पे करने वाले. तो वेंडर जो अपने एग्जांपल में XY and Sons डेबिट, राइट, तो उसको क्या देने का है? तुमको 10 crore देने का है. हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू गिव 10 crore? कैसे देने वाले हो तुम 10 crore? 5 crore थ्रू बैंक. तो टू बैंक हम लोग कैश में या वट एवर 5 crores का कहेंगे और बाकी हम लोग लेट से हमारे शेयर्स इशू कर रहे हैं. तो टू इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल वी विल बी पेइंग 5 crores. I hope you understood this properly. Never learn the entries, always understand. Very important. So pehla transaction, what was the first transaction? PC amount due. Okay, I had to pay 10. To whom? To that vendor. So I would say business purchase debit to vendor. Second, I took over net 8 amount, assets and liabilities both. Then I had the business purchase closed to business purchase, and then finally difference went to goodwill. Okay, and thirdly I paid the BC. You can pay bank, you can pay equity shares, you can pay debentures, you can pay preference share capital, right? You can issue shares at a premium, securities premium, anything is possible. That's okay. We do not have to pass entries in this chapter. No entries. Then why are we learning this, ma'am? Entries so we don't have to pass. Because up samjho, very important thing. What did we say? जो भी profit you have earned, listen carefully. जो भी profit you have earned in the first 3 months, जो pre-incorporation है, we said take it to capital reserve, right now? This is what we said, no? But by chance, you had taken over the business and goodwill has come in that business takeover entry. Like in my example, goodwill came 2 crores. So then why will I credit capital reserve separately? I have na goodwill in the books. Goodwill was an amount तुमने जो extra pay किया था वो था ना. And now that extra payment में तुमको थोड़ा बहुत profit 3 months का मिल गया. You have kind of recovered it. तो फिर what will you do? You will be taking rather than CR को credit करना or you can credit to goodwill. तुम बोलोगे भाई goodwill 2 crore extra पड़ा हुआ है which I have given them extra तो मैं अलग से CR क्यों लूँ? Why do I take it separately? चलो adjust goodwill only. We will say 2 crore नहीं we paid. Suppose वो 3 months का profit was 10 lakh. तो we'll say okay 1 crore 90 lakh goodwill ले लेते. It is logical. So इसके लिए we say that normally take to capital reserve or if goodwill had been debited as an asset when at the time of acquiring the business. We saw the entry right now. So in that scenario, what will you do? You will be taking it to your goodwill. Then no need to take it to CR, take it to goodwill. I hope this is clear. Yes. So normally, why goodwill ka answer is lying in your entries. देखो, if you come further down, next page में you have got journal entries which we just wrote. पहला entry for business purchase consideration due. Business purchase account debit to vendor firm. Then we took over the business assets account debit जो भी है. To liabilities we took, right? To business purchase we did. उसमें आया goodwill balancing figure, right? तभी I had asked you another question कि what if उसमें goodwill नहीं आ रहा है? मतलब another example if I take net assets जो है we have taken over is 10 crores and the purchase consideration we are paying is 9 crore. ऐसा अगर तो what will change? You will say assets account debit net 10 है ना? So debit to 10 is coming, credit you are giving only 9 crore, isn't it? Because what is coming? 10. But payable amount only 9. So the difference now is 1 crore credit. So where will this 1 crore credit go? Debit आया तो we said take goodwill. So if like this happens then that goes to capital reserve. Okay, so this goes where? This goes to capital reserve. समझा? Either you get goodwill or you get capital reserve. दोनों नहीं आता. Both don't come. एक तो goodwill नहीं तो capital reserve. Okay, तो this is how you will be understanding this. एक तो debit आया तो goodwill और credit आया तो capital reserve. Now logical कैसे है? How is this logical? Simple ना. अगर business को you are paying extra, you are getting 8 and you are giving 10, तो 2 extra you are giving towards goodwill. 1. And second thing is in case of capital reserve, you are getting 10, paying only 9. तो this is like a profit ना. तुमको 9 crore में 10 crore का चीज मिल रहा है. तो that 1 crore extra is like your profit. And that is not a day-to-day profit. This is a capital profit. So that also goes to capital reserve. So this is your capital reserve balancing figure, whatever is there. तो या तो goodwill will come or CR. CR means capital reserve might come. And then you discharge the PC. You discharge the PC. So where do you take it? Firm vendor account debit to, it could be equity share capital. You can give preference share capital. You can give bank. You can give securities premium extra or like more than face value, debentures, anything. This is how you have paid them. Okay, so I hope these entries are clear. you do not get entries in the exam from this chapter. मैं फिर रिपीट कर रही हूँ, ये सिर्फ तुमको ट्रीटमेंट समझने के लिए बताया गया कि ट्रीटमेंट क्या होगा इस चीज का, उसके लिए ये पॉइंट्स है. ठीक है. अब एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. मैम तुम तो बोल रहे प्रॉफिट होगा प्रॉफिट होगा, अगर वो 3 मंथ्स में प्री इनकॉर्पोरेशन में लॉस हुआ तो क्या? तो नाउ तुम खुद सोचोगे, अगर लॉस होगा इन दोस 3 मंथ्स तो वेयर विल आई टेक इट? लॉस हुआ तो इट विल बी कमिंग डेबिट ना, लॉस इज डेबिट आइटम, तो वेयर विल दैट लॉस गो? राइट. अगर क्रेडिट आया तो वी सेड टेक कैपिटल रिजर्व, बट व्हाट इफ देयर इज अ लॉस? इट विल बी डेबिटेड टू ईदर गुडविल. यस, क्योंकि लॉस है, डेबिट करना है, तो व्हाट टू डू ना. तो आई एम, देखो लॉजिकली हाउ आई एक्सप्लेन. आई टुक बिजनेस, लिसन केयरफुली. I took over running business. Original example. I got 8 crores items and 10 crores I'm giving. 2 crore I got goodwill. Those 3 months they made a loss of 10 lakh. So that is like paying 10 lakh extra only na to them, because they made a loss in those 3 months. So that also will be debited to goodwill. एक तो वो possibility. Or you can also debit to, we call it loss prior to incorporation. ऐसा you can make an account loss prior to incorporation and you can also debit it there. वो भी possible. बट अगर आप देखो उल्टा लॉजिक, इफ ऑन द टाइम ऑफ एक्विजिशन है ना, यू हैड गॉट अ कैपिटल रिजर्व, ये वाला जो अभी मैंने तुमको बताया था. यस, ये था ना, यू हैड गॉट अ कैपिटल रिजर्व एट द टाइम ऑफ एक्विजिशन और अभी लॉस हुआ उनको, राइट. तो डेबिट करने के गुडविल के बदले में आई कैन ऑल्सो डेबिट टू कैपिटल रिजर्व, है ना. तो वो डिपेंड करता है वेयर इट इज गोइंग टू गो, विल डिपेंड ऑन व्हाट. डिड यू हैव अ कैपिटल रिजर्व एट द टाइम ऑफ अक्वायरिंग द बिजनेस? आया था क्या कैपिटल रिजर्व व्हेन यू अक्वायर्ड? हाँ आया था. तो व्हाई टू डेबिट गुडविल? आई हैव ना कैपिटल रिजर्व, उसी को डेबिट कर दो. सो आई विल यूज दैट डेबिट टू सीआर. अंडरस्टूड? आई थिंक यू शुड बी क्लियर, बिकॉज प्रॉफिट है तो आई नो वेयर इट गोज टू कैपिटल रिजर्व. तो चलो लेट्स समराइज इट. वेरी सिंपल. Profit prior to incorporation you have, where will you take it? To capital reserve. Normal, hamesha, the normal thing is what you should know first. Take to capital reserve. Credit, because it's a profit. But if you had got goodwill at the time of acquiring the business, goodwill आया था तो you credit to goodwill. Simple. Similarly, अगर loss है prior to incorporation, तो you debit it to goodwill. But if you had capital reserve during acquisition, you can take it where? Debit to capital reserve. ठीक है, तो ये basic summary है. I hope this is clear, right? तो just to understand it finally, profit prior to incorporation, where does it go? This is the final moral of the story. पूरा रामायण बोल दिया, अब क्या है फाइनल? राम कौन है? तो ये है प्रॉफिट प्रायर टू इनकॉर्पोरेशन. ये होता है क्रेडिट वेयर? टू कैपिटल रिजर्व, और इट कैन बी टू गुडविल. कब? इफ गुडविल डेबिटेड ऑन एक्विजिशन, तो उसी को यू कैन रिड्यूस. इफ है, गुडविल को तभी करना है गुडविल इज डेबिटेड तो ही, नहीं तो इट विल बी कैपिटल रिजर्व. एंड अगर लॉस है, लॉस प्रायर टू इनकॉर्पोरेशन, तो इट विल बी डेबिटेड वेयर? इट कैन बी डेबिटेड टू गुडविल, or there can be, you can open another account called loss prior to incorporation, or you can debit where? To capital reserve. But when, if capital reserve if capital reserve was credited on एक्विजिशन जब बिजनेस अक्वायर किया उस टाइम पे अगर तुमने कैपिटल रिजर्व किया था, बनाया था, तो उसको ही डेबिट कर दो, और अगर कैपिटल रिजर्व नहीं बनाया था तो गुडविल को डेबिट कर दो. ये है मेरा फाइनल ट्रीटमेंट. दिस इज योर ट्रीटमेंट. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. Surely, I think अच्छे से you have understood, okay? Now, going to the next thing. अब जो मैंने एग्जाम्पल लिया था कि 3 months प्री है, 9 months पोस्ट है, यही बोला था ना, 3 months प्री, 9 months पोस्ट. देखो ये मेरा जो ओरिजिनल एग्जाम्पल था उसमें आई हैड टेकन 3 months प्री एंड 9 months पोस्ट. अब 31st March 22 हैज कम, योर एंड. अब तुम क्या करोगे? यू हैव टू स्प्लिट द प्रॉफिट इन प्री पीरियड एंड पोस्ट पीरियड. हाउ विल यू स्प्लिट इट? तो ईदर तुम दो ही पीएनएल बना लो, यू मेक 2 PNLs. ओके, सो व्हाट यू डू, यू मेक 2 PNL. सी दिस वन, मेथड्स ऑफ कंप्यूटिंग प्रॉफिट और लॉस प्रायर टू इनकॉर्पोरेशन. ईदर तुम सेपरेट PNL बना लो, you make 3 months PNL separate, 9 months PNL separate, so you make 2 PNL. This PNL statement is made for the period from incorporation, acquisition to the date of incorporation. So basically you are making 2 PNL. One possibility. One is going to be for the pre period, one is going to be for the post period. One possibility. And second possibility is you will make, no, why will I make 2 PNL? I want to make only 1 PNL. Fine. Make only 1 PNL. So that is called single final PNL. So you will make only 1 PNL, but you will make it with 2 columns. Okay. One will be your pre and one will be your post. Pre-incorporation column, one is post-incorporation column. So 2 columns you will be making. So either you make 2 PNL, दो अलग अलग PNL बना लो, एक 3 महीने का, एक 9 महीने का, और अदरवाइज तुम उसको कॉलम ना बनाओ पूरे 12 months का, बट यू take pre and post columnar separate. So this is what single final account method. So which one we use? What do you think logically? 2 PNL, who is going to make? So we use this method. Okay. All the sums I have, we use this second method only, single final account method, where I have pre column and I have post column. So this is how it goes. So whatever we have learned so far, I hope you have understood everything. Understand. देखो हर चैप्टर के स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा सा थ्योरी वी हैव टू डू, देन सम्स वंस वी स्टार्ट इट्स ऑल वेरी इजी. कंसेप्ट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, व्हाई इज हैपनिंग, एंड देन द सम्स very easy. Okay, so I think all the things are clear by now. Okay, everywhere we are going to use this second one, single final account method, where only one PNL columnar we are going to make. Now comes my next type of point. We said कि we have to split our PNL in 2 parts, है ना, pre and post. We said like this. So obvious thing is there, I will be having salaries, rent, expenses, I will have for the whole year. तो मेरा नेक्स्ट चैलेंज रहने वाला है कि भाई मैंने सैलरी तो पे किया है, पूरे साल का सैलरी जो था वो है 12 लाख रुपीस, पूरे साल का, दिस इज द टोटल अमाउंट. अब मुझे स्प्लिट करना है बिटवीन प्री एंड पोस्ट, है ना, बिकॉज आई हैव टू मेक 2 कॉलम्स. तो द नेक्स्ट चैलेंज इज गोइंग टू बी हाउ टू स्प्लिट द expenses and the income which is in the PNL into pre and into post. So what is my next concept going to be? The basis of apportionment. How you are going to apportion this between pre and post. Pre incorporation में what amount जाना चाहिए और post incorporation में कितना amount जाना चाहिए. ठीक है, तो ये तुमको अभी समझना है, बिकॉज वी आर गोइंग टू फॉलो द सिंगल अकाउंट्स मेथड. तो हमको उसको स्प्लिट करना पड़ेगा बिटवीन प्री एंड पोस्ट. लॉजिकली हम सोचेंगे, सैलरीज 12 लाख है, सैलरीज कैसे पे होता है, व्हाट बेसिस शुड आई डिवाइडेड प्री एंड पोस्ट. सैलरीज आर पेड लाइक पर मंथ बेसिस ना नॉर्मली. तो वी आर गोइंग टू बी स्प्लिटिंग इट कौन से बेसिस पे, टाइम बेसिस पे. ओके, तो सैलरीज जो रहेगा दैट विल बी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टाइम. 3 months 9 months, अपने एग्जाम्पल में 3 months 9 months वो रहेगा एक्सपेंसेस रिलेटिंग टू टाइम. 1 सैलरीज फॉर एग्जाम्पल. और कौन से एक्सपेंसेस होते हैं जो कि टाइम बेसिस, देखो मत सोचो, which expenses are relating to time. What is like per month charged, per annum charged. Per annum we pay interest, we pay na interest at 12% per annum, means it is time basis, so interest also will be time. What else we do on time basis, like normal office expenses and all, also we have time na, every month so much expense I have, right? So expenses, office expenses will be time. I provide depreciation at 10% per annum. Matlab depreciation will also be time basis. Sub logically you have to think. Okay. Another thing I have now for you. Suppose I pay my salesman some commission. Salesman, I am paying commission. Do I pay it on time basis? No. Commission I normally pay on sales basis. So that's why I have got some items which relate to my turnover. Turnover means relates to sales. So that which I just gave you an example, commission to selling agents. Or traveling expenses of my salesman will be sales basis. Right? What do you think will be advertisement? Advertisement is which expenditure? Selling expenditure. So that will also be sales basis. What about my purchases or my carriage inward, freight inward, carriage inward या carriage outward बोलते चलो, not inward, outward. Again it will be on sales basis. Again there. What about purchases company has made? Purchases. So purchases are normally, it's not fixed na per month. The more I sell, the more I purchase normally. So my purchases also will be on what basis? It could be on sales basis. I hope you understood this. So pre-incorporation, post-incorporation, how we divide the expenses and income is given over here. So some expenses are purely going to be like the gross profit is going to be normally based on turnover. Okay. Sales. So profit you're earning on your sales. So we divide it on sales. But by chance sales is not given. It does not happen in the sum, but not there. So what to do? Then do it on the basis of cost of goods sold. Or that is also not given. Some other information is given. Time basis, something like that. But the first choice is turnover. Because GP is earned on sales. तो अगर तुमको प्रॉफिट दिया है तो सीधा सेल्स के रेशियो में डिवाइड इट. ओके. Then there are some expenses also which we divide on sales ratio, that is your carriage, commission, advertisement, bad dates, right? ये सब sales पे depend करता है. All these will also be on the basis of sales. तो gross profit, selling expenses, सब कुछ will go there. Third, then I have based on time. Time may we said depreciation, interest. We talked about fixed amount like office expenses, rent paid. Also is for the year. Per month we are paying it. Salaries per month. So all that will be on time basis. So time basis what I have. Let me change the color now. Time basis I have got salaries, office admin expenses, rent, rates, printing, stationery, telephone. Okay, depreciation. Important ones I'm saying are normally on time basis. Now there could be some income and expenses, rather expenses जो पूरा प्री पीरियड को बिलोंग करते हैं या कुछ कुछ ओनली पोस्ट पीरियड को बिलोंग करते हैं. ओके, Let's see. Suppose that XY and Sons जो पार्टनरशिप फर्म था, they used to pay interest on capital. अभी इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल जो है, क्या कंपनी विल ऑल्सो पे दिस? नो, कंपनी डज नॉट पे इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल. ये इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल एक पार्टनरशिप फर्म पे करता है. तो अगर इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल दिया है सम में, या इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्रॉइंग्स इज देयर इन द सम, देन दैट विल बी टोटली टू द प्री इनकॉर्पोरेशन पीरियड, क्योंकि वो it relates to the firm. Okay, so if there are any expenses which are not company related, they will all go in pre. Okay, like that only there will be some expenses which only the company will be making, some expenses which only company can make. For example, interest on debentures. Now interest on debentures, can an individual a person or a partnership firm, can they issue debentures? नहीं, वो नहीं इशू कर सकती. तो इंटरेस्ट ऑन डिबेंचर्स किसका रहेगा? कंपनी का रहेगा, राइट? तो वो कंपनी में जाएगा. दिस विल बी टोटली पोस्ट इनकॉर्पोरेशन. अब व्हाट अबाउट, let's say they have appointed some directors and some director fees are paid. So director fees paid for the directors. So where will that be going? Directors तो पहले थे ही ना. Directors came when company came. तो directors fees also will be where? It will be post only ना. It cannot be pre. Divide क्या करेंगे? There were no directors before that, so that will also be post. One very interesting example ना, students always ask कि preliminary expenses है. Preliminary expenses. तो preliminary expenses ये कंपनी को फॉर्म करने के लिए वी हैव, राइट? वी इनकर दीज एक्सपेंसेस फॉर द कंपनी, प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस. तो स्टूडेंट को ऐसा लगता है, मेनी टाइम स्टूडेंट्स थिंक कि भाई कंपनी फॉर्मेशन, कंपनी को फॉर्म करने के लिए एक्सपेंसेस आ रहे, तो दिस शुड बी बिफोर द कंपनी वाज फॉर्म्ड, है ना? लॉजिक ऐसा होता है कि ये जो एक्सपेंसेस है ये बिफोर द कंपनी वाज फॉर्म्ड, तो इसके लिए इसको प्री में डाल दो. तुमने भी यही सोचा होगा. आई एम श्योर यू हैव थॉट लाइक दिस. एक्सपीरियंस बोलता है, आई नो इट. बच्चा यही सोचता है कि प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस इज प्री. व्हाई? क्योंकि इट वाज पेड बिफोर कंपनी वाज फॉर्म्ड. बट डोंट फॉरगेट, व्हेन पेड इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट. कब पे हुआ इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, किसके लिए पे हुआ, फॉर व्हाट इट वाज पेड इज इंपॉर्टेंट. सो दिस वाज पेड टू फॉर्म द कंपनी. तो कंपनी को फॉर्म करने के लिए एक्सपेंसेस आप पेड, तो कंपनी का ही एक्सपेंस ना इट विल बी. दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज आल्सो गोइंग टू बी पोस्ट इनकॉर्पोरेशन. ओके, सो नाउ we have understood कि some expenses can be pre, some can be post and some have to be divided. किसी को डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा. कोई टाइम बेसिस पे डिवाइड होगा, कोई सेल्स बेसिस पे डिवाइड होगा. सब कुछ लॉजिकली वी हैव अंडरस्टूड. ओके, तो नाउ लेट अस सी एक दो और एक्सपेंसेस. और क्या है, जैसे हम लोगों ने बोला कि प्री इनकॉर्पोरेशन, ओनली प्री में जाएंगे दोज एक्सपेंसेस लाइक वेंडर सैलरी, वेंडर who was the seller of the business, ना partner salary या partners interest like that. और अगर वो exclusively relates to post, जो भी कंपनी के expenses है, they will totally go to post incorporation period, like debenture interest, directors fees, right? Share issue expenses, underwriting commission, all those things which are purely company related goes to post. अगर you have to pay the purchase consideration, हाँ ध्यान से सुनना, you have to pay purchase consideration. In our example, तुमको 8 करोड़ का बिजनेस आ रहा था, 10 करोड़ तुमने प्रॉमिस किया था you will pay. तो 10 करोड़ के ऊपर you have also paid interest. Why? Because you did not pay 10 crore on 1st April, you paid 10 crore on 30th of September. So till 30th September you will have to pay interest now. So then that interest will be again split up between pre and post, right? So the pre 3 months का जो रहेगा इंटरेस्ट फॉर द मंथ ऑफ अप्रैल मई जून, अपने एग्जाम्पल में 1 जुलाई को कंपनी वॉज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड, तो 3 months विल बी इन प्री आई विल पे एंड 3 months विल बी इन पोस्ट. Okay, so अगर you are paying any interest on the PC, तो you will have to take pre में from acquisition date till the incorporation date will be there, and then from incorporation date till the payment date will be post. Makes sense, right? And last one, audit fees. If company has paid audit fees, how does it work? Now I gave you the answer. मैंने पूछा company has paid audit fees. तो अगर वो ऑडिट है स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट जो कंपनीज एक्ट में होता है, राइट, कंपनीज एक्ट में यू हैव टू डू ऑडिट कंपल्सरी फॉर एवरी कंपनी, तो वो कंपनी के लिए कर रहे हो ना तुम, सो इट विल बी पोस्ट क्लियरली बिकॉज इट इज अ स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट फी. इसको हम लोग स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट बोलते हैं बिकॉज इट इज अंडर लॉ. तो स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट अगर है तो दैट विल गो पोस्ट में क्योंकि इट इज पेड फॉर द कंपनी. बट अगर वही ऑडिट फीस आर फॉर टैक्स ऑडिट. अब टैक्स ऑडिट कब होता है ना, व्हेन यू क्रॉस, यू आर गोइंग टू लर्न इन योर टैक्स, जब तुम्हारा टर्नओवर एक लिमिट क्रॉस कर लेता है, ओके, देन यू हैव टू पे दिस, मतलब यू हैव टू डू टैक्स ऑडिट. तो अगर टैक्स ऑडिट फी है तो क्योंकि इट इज बेस्ड ऑन टर्नओवर, तो इसके लिए वो सेल्स के रेशियो में यू कैन डिवाइड इट. ओके, और ये जो रहेगा दिस विल बी एन पोस्ट पीरियड. तो ऑडिट फीस अगर यू सी इन द क्वेश्चन, तुमको वो देखना है, आर दे टॉकिंग ऑफ स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट, आर दे टॉकिंग ऑफ टैक्स ऑडिट. अगर स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट है तो इट इज ओनली फॉर कंपनीज, तो इट विल बी अंडर पोस्ट पीरियड. एंड इफ इट इज अ टैक्स ऑडिट फी, इट इज बेस्ड ऑन टर्नओवर, तो इट विल बी ऑन टर्नओवर बेसिस. ओके, so these are all your expenses. We have already finished the journal entries. Remember, logically think of the expenses. You have to split up the expenses every time. Okay, and what will you do with those pre-incorporation profit or losses? You know you cannot distribute them as dividend. Dividend allowed ही नहीं है देना. तो फिर वो जो pre-incorporation profit है वो capital reserve में you will keep it, and you can use it for things like writing of goodwill, or you can write off preliminary expenses, issue bonus, etc. तुम ये सब कर सकते हो from that. Main thing, no dividend you can't pay from it. That is what you have to remember. बाकी तुम उसको you can use these things, you can do all these things. और अगर लॉस होता है तो then you will either take it in goodwill or you can debit to capital reserve. We have said that. So then that is what, add it to goodwill or take it there. You have any capital gains, so you can write off against that, etc. So it's not something very important. This is what you have. तो whatever we learned today, सब कुछ जो हम लोग ने आज सीखा है, इसका एक छोटा सा टेस्ट we have, which is your MCQs. 10 MCQs I think तुमको है यहाँ पे, and I would want कि तुम खुद इसको एक, I give you 5 minutes, you do the MCQs yourself, pencil से you mark your answers, or we will check it then. And what all I taught you today, did you understand or no? The 10 MCQs will decide that. Okay, so let's see. 10 MCQs, 5 minutes, you will do it by yourself. Your time has started. So I hope you are finished. Let's check your answers. Hmm? First one. Profit prior to incorporation. I'm sure you got this. Capital reserve. Hmm? Profit earned from the date of purchase of the business to incorporation date is called pre-incorporation profit. Where is loss prior to incorporation debited? Here, many of you all might have written A, goodwill. Hmm? Goodwill is right answer, no doubt. But B also point can be then a loss also prior to incorporation can be done. So this can be debited either ways, right? First choice is goodwill only, but the B choice is also possible. So answer is C, either. Profit prior to incorporation is not available for dividend. Profit or loss prior to incorporation is which nature? Capital nature, B point. Which of the following expenditure is on basis of time? Time, which is fixed. I'm sure you got it. Insurance. See, insurance example we had not even discussed. But you could think logically and do it, right? That is important. Which of the following is turnover basis? Salary is depreciation, the fixed I know. Gross profit is turnover basis. Preliminary expenses are charged. Preliminary expenses are post incorporation because it is for the company. Which of the following is not on time basis? Not on time. Salary to time hai, rent is also time, discount is sales, not time. So C answer. And pre-incorporation cannot be used for dividend. All correct. With this, my theory of this chapter, my concepts of this chapter are over. And tomorrow we will be doing our sums. We'll be starting with our sums. So today, no homework as such. You just need to just go through this. Very easy thing what we learned today. I hope you understood. Pre-incorporation, post-incorporation, capital nature, capital reserve, how goodwill comes, etc. etc. So that's all for today. See you tomorrow and keep smiling always. Be happy.